Hey everyone,
Hi guys.
DJ Ravine here, and I'm here with Hannah V.
Hey, hey.
And today we're going to be deconstructing one of her tracks. What's the track we're going to be deconstructing?
It's the second single off my EP No Limit. This song is called No, and it features the amazing singer Pepper Rose.
Awesome. So we're going to go look into that.
Yes.
Going to go through all the parts of this song, what makes it tick. And stay tuned at the end. We're going to have a little bit of a remix competition
That's
for
right.
this track. Cool prizes. I'm going to have
Really
some
good
really cool
prizes.
prizes. So stick around, and of course check out pointblankmusicschool.com. But let's get started.
Let's do it. No featuring Pepper Rose. This is actually one of my favorite productions ever. It's very minimalistic in many ways. The production elements are like very specifically curated. All the sounds, I spent a lot of time on the sounds. There's a lot of space there for Pepper to just be swaggy on top of it. And yeah, I just really love this type of production anyways, because it keeps growing. Every section something else gets added to it. And towards the end, it kind of really becomes this beautiful, big amalgamation of all the sounds and the harmonies and the BVs, and you'll hear it all. I actually started this track in Berlin. I was in a different studio, so I didn't have my usual hardware. And I really wanted to start something around a synth part. So I pulled up the plugin Blue from Rob Papin, found a cool synth sound, and came up with this part. So that was the initial synth sound. The chords for that were A minor, E, F, C major. And then I just kept it hanging on the F for the second half. And then we go again to the top of the form. So programmed in the synth sound. So the next thing I did was get on with some drum programming. And I knew that I wanted the drums to be like really simple. I didn't want a snare on a 2 and a 4. So these are the drums that I programmed. Nothing. That was the beat. Let's have a listen to it. Kick, 2 snares. I also had a reverse snare that I brought in. That sounds like this. A very simple hi-hat pattern and a triangle. So again, there's a lot of space in the beat for the vocal to ride it. Next thing I added was a bass. Again, I used the Rob Papin plugin, sub-boom bass, and added basically a low sine bass. So once I had kind of the bass, the drums, and the main synth part sorted, it was time for me to add like a few more musical elements. Of course, I'm going to add some piano, but I wanted to keep the pianos really like moody and atmospheric. So I played quite high-pitched pianos, added loads of delay, and had a piano part that went a little something like this. So really beautiful part, you know, which I think contrasted really well to like the hardness of the beat and the bass. After I added the piano, I wanted to add a few more little pads. So for that, I went to my Virus. One pad that I added was so again, a nice kind of belly vibey pad with a bit of movement in it. I also added another pad So again, lots of atmospheric stuff, you know? So let's listen to all of that together. At this point, the beat was ready to show to Pepper and to give to Pepper. So Pepper came down to the studio, I played her the track, and she just wrote the most amazing top line. Let's have a quick listen.
I wanna kiss lips, don't wanna kiss teeth. I wanna eat good, no babe, baby ain't that deep. I do it differently. I wanna smile in the face of my enemy. You cannot do what I do, you cannot do what I do. Try as you might, you gon' find that your fire is burning out like I'm the fuel. You cannot do what I do, you cannot do what I do. Try as you might, you gon' find that you're no. You cannot do like me, no. You cannot do,
So when Pepper started singing this chorus, I knew that I needed to make more of those lyrics and I needed to turn that into samples. So actually a very big part of the track is a screwed up vocal that I made out of Pepper's chorus, which goes a little something like. And this sample runs throughout the track. I bring it in, I bring it out, and it's really part of the backing track for me. So again, the whole beat without the vocals and with the little sample. So Pepper recorded the verses, recorded the choruses, we started tracking things up, but things started getting really interesting in the mid-8. Initially we had like a bit of a hook, kind of a chanty thing, but then Pepper kind of hit me back after the session. She's like, Hannah, I've got an idea for this double time thing. Let's just listen to her vocals soloed in the mid-8.
been on my own way since I was a baby. Independence is an understatement. Don't need no one, I'm happy on my own. Comfortably chilling alone on my throne.
So there's all of a sudden the pace starts picking up. So what I wanted to do with the production was do the opposite. So what I did with the drums, I bounced all of my drums. I then stretched them to make them halftime, and then I chopped them up so that they basically sound slow, screwed up, and a bit weird. So my kick and snare sound like. Along with Pepper's vocals.
Need an army of counterfeit friends. I said I once know you can't make amends. No second chances, won't hit your defense. Don't care about your sorries, that's no recompense.
Second half of the mid-8, I brought in my hi-hat, but again, I did the same thing. I slowed it down so it sounds a bit screwed up.
They cannot do what I do. Stick to the algorithms like it's glue. Copycats, none of that, I ain't a fool. I'm no soul, but the swag is brand new. Sweet chili dripping in sauce. Can't take the heat, walk your ass out the door. Don't try and keep up with this shoe, we'll fall now. Please don't act like you haven't been away.
And back to the outro choruses. The one great thing about this track that I really found interesting is what we did with the vocals is we kept it quite low in range. Pepper has a great range. She can sing really high, but we on purpose kind of kept it quite low. So when Pepper hits the high octave in the outro chorus, there's really this amazing feeling of release, you know? It's almost like you're not expecting it. You're not expecting it to kick off like that. So let's have a listen to that coming out of the mid-8.
Please don't act like you haven't been away.
Once we kind of had all of the leads down, we started looking at some of Pepper's harmonies, tracks, all of that. So I went quite traditional in terms of tracking. I triple tracked her, the lead. So we've got.
You cannot do what I do. Challenge you much, you gon' find that you're fiery.
In terms of harmonies, we went really dense with the harmonies.
You cannot do what I do. Challenge you much, you gon' find that your fire is burning out like I'm the fuel. You cannot do what I do. You cannot do what I do. Challenge you much, you gon' find that you're no.
So really nice, unusual harmony parts there towards the end, where Pepper starts singing high in the octave, we bring in a couple more vocal hooks. So one vocal hook that we brought in was... You cannot do me like no. You cannot do... And what I did there is I had Pepper's normal harmonies, but then I also like high-pitched one of the harmonies. So of course it sounds weird alone, but together with the rest of the harmonies. You cannot do me like no. And another interesting thing I did in the end, I wanted another harmony to come in at the very, very end, but Pepper had already left the studio. So instead of calling her back, I just melodined a harmony, which is something I do quite a lot. It sounds a bit weird alone. You cannot do me like no. Like you can feel, you can hear that it's distorted, but together with everything else, you cannot do me like no. You cannot do me like no. You can't really tell. Once I had all of the vocals down, I wanted to add like a couple of little details, a couple of chops. So there's one really nice bit in verse 2 where I just chopped up stuff. Let me show you guys. Foot on the floor, you can't keep up with me. You cannot do. So I just cut up her word up, chopped it, panned it. And again, these little details for me are details in songs that I always find really exciting, because you can't really tell that they're there, but something's happening, you know? I did the same thing towards the end when the second hook comes in. You just a little, you cannot. And again, these little things for me, they're the sprinklings on top of the track. Another really cool effect I did on this was at the end of Pepper's final chorus, I added a delay ride, and I loved it so much that I actually made it into a part. No. And I thought that was like so dope. So when it came down to the mix, I told my guy to like really bring that up. Let's just listen to that bit there. And so again, there's something like, it's quite in the background, but still it adds an atmospheric part to the whole song that I think is super dope. And then we added another hook on the end. Pepper sings. I'll be on my way, I'll be on my way. You can do your thing, you can do your thing. I'll be on my way, I'll be on my way. You can go with me. And that's the entire song there. So you've got a backing track that leaves enough space for the vocals to do whatever they need to do. Loads of cool little samples, little chops going on, and I'm so happy with how this track ended up being. So this is how I made my track No, featuring Pepper Rose, all based on a dope synth sound, and then built everything around that, and then built everything around Pepper's vocals. So thank you all for watching. Give me individual, no sheep. We on a different page, we're moving in different lanes. Foot on the floor, you can't keep up with me.